Welcome to the Insurance Stream. I'm your host, Dave Bowling. Great to be with you today. Thank you so much for joining us for this 5-minute daily insurance meditation. I want to give a shout out to Viva Virtual Assistants, VivaVS.com. They are built for the insurance community. They have central time zone located virtual assistants. They're in Central America. They're all college educated. These folks do a great job. Give them a call, give them a text, 832-990-8482. Again, 832-990-8482. You can visit them online at VivaVS.com. For today's 5-minute insurance meditation, we're going to talk about how long does it take you to get back to your customers for a quote. Now, you talk to people when they call in for a quote, and you listen to them. A lot of times you'll hear something like, I called this other agent and they haven't gotten back to me, or I've been waiting on this quote for a couple of weeks, or maybe they don't even tell you that in the first conversation you have. Maybe it's when you call them back quick. They're going to say, I have been waiting on a quote from these other people for 3 days, 5 days, a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month. It takes forever to get a quote back. I don't even know how much insurance I've written over the course of my career to people that have said that, because in our office, we had a rule that everybody got a call back the same day. And it was an office policy that everybody got a call back within 2 hours. So we would take down the quote information, drop everything we were doing, and work on that quote. And we had workflows in our office to make that happen. We had somebody, taking care of changes that need to be made on policies. We had somebody taking care of billing calls that came in. We had somebody sending documents off to the carrier if somebody was writing a policy. And you could stop everything you're doing. We had somebody that quoted, and we could stop everything we were doing and quote that policy. And oftentimes, from the online raters that we were using, we'd give these people a call back in 10 to 15 minutes. It blew their mind. I got that all the time. People would say, I have been waiting on a quote for insert extended amount of time here, and you called me back in under an hour. That's unbelievable. Now, some clients, obviously, we can't do that with. There are some risks. We've got ACORD forms. We've got underwriters to deal with. We've got things. And you want to set the expectation for those people. You want to say, look, I know that you've been waiting on a quote from these other people. It's going to take me a couple days probably to get a quote back. Today is whatever day of the week it is, plus 2 days. I'm going to call you back on this day. Set a reminder in your agency management system and call them back on that day that you said you would. And then let them know what's going on. Even if you don't have a quote yet, tell them what you're waiting on. Tell them what's going on. Stay in touch, because they don't want to, they don't want to do business with a flake. Nobody does. I don't. You don't. They want to do business with somebody who's on the ball, who remembers their situation, who's dedicated to solving their problem, and who is responsive and who cares. That's it. Everything else doesn't really matter. If you are able to get a quote to these people in your promised time, or in a really super quick time, you are going to win so much of the business, and you won't even be competing on price most of the time. Because a lot of times when they're calling, it doesn't really matter, especially if you work in commercial insurance. It doesn't really matter, what your price is. I mean, and I'm not saying give them $15,000 on a $3,000 quote. That's ridiculous. What I'm saying is this whole race to the bottom, this whole thing where, we have, $50 a year difference, or $25 a year, or $100 a year, all these little tiny pricing differences, you're not going to be part of that war, because you're going to call people back. You're going to drop everything you're doing. You're going to quote the business. You're going to find the price that works for them. You're going to call them back. You're going to explain it to them. And then even if they don't buy from you on that day, if they've had a runaround with other agents and trying to get pricing, they're going to buy from you, because you were fast, you were responsive, and you listened to them. And you called them back. Thank you for joining us on this 5-minute daily insurance meditation.